Hello guys, I had a discussion with someone about the moneyless family system, and I noticed something during our conversation. I noticed the same thing with other people in other conversations. There are smart people and there are deep thinkers. With deep thinkers, I can go down to the foundation of a topic, but with smart people, I can't do that. Smart people knows how our system works, so they try to adjust their life to the rules of the current system. In their discussions, they try to focus on those theories which theories comply with the rules of the current system. Example, the person got disappointed because he thought that I don't know how the products were priced in our system. The person quit the discussion without I was able to explain it to him that if you change the foundation of a system, then that's gonna affect the method of the pricing. The other problem is the patient. Smart people recognize very fast if a theory doesn't comply with the rules of the current system, so they just simply step forward without listening any kind of explanation. 10 years ago, at the beginning of my awakening, I have wrote my book with the typical mistakes what usually a freshly awakened person do. I have sent my book to Freemason lodges, embassies, to the Vatican, to Israel and other famous people all around the world. The reason is why I wrote it and sent it worldwide, because I found a solution to the social difference created by financial reasons. I was hoping that my book would give others an idea for creating a humanist system. I didn't mention my name in the book because I thought that my idea is important, not my identity. I know before were others who tried to find solution to this problem, and they created example communism and socialism, and they failed. The reason is very simple why. The money system. In my book I have introduced the time and the family system, but in the book I called it the basis of a fair system. I didn't make the book for the market because I know that my book based on my thoughts and lack of information. Some information I wasn't able to check and I had no time to do the book in a proper way. I did not intend the book to the market because I was aware that I had incomplete information or information that I could not verify. Example, I wrote a negative article about Freemasons because I heard many negative informations about Freemasonry. My final decision why I have wrote that negative chapter about Freemasons because there was a teacher in the school who always continuously criticized Masons, and finally he was kicked out from the school. I thought the reason why they kicked out the teacher because he revealed too much truth about Masons to the students. After many years, thanks to a Mason, I was able to see regular Masonry from inside, and my opinion has been changed about them. And now I apologize for that part of my book. Please forgive my mistakes. 2 years ago, Klaus Schwab came up with the Great Reset idea. In the Great Reset, I have recognized my system. I start to think, is the similarity is a coincidence or something more? I just read his book briefly and I have noticed that he mentioned a few times financial obstacles. Financial obstacles are the current problem of our system. When I invented the family system, the hardest part was to find a solution for the financial obstacles. Finally, I found the solution. That's the reason why I have sent my book all around the world. Klaus Schwab is a smart economist. That is the reason why I think he and his supporters try to find a solution for the current problems, which solution comply with the rules of the current system. Completely new solutions which are not in the line of our current system may be thought of by Klaus and his supporters that is some kind of utopia. In other words, that's the reason why they think in a box. Maybe you're wondering, why am I revealing myself after 10 years of obscurity? I think it is very important to point the people's and the global leaders' attention to an earliest humanist version of the Great Reset, which system maybe inspired Klaus during of his invention. My system has a different foundation. It's rather a great shutdown instead of a great reset. Because of the new foundation, the system gonna affect everything in our life. Not only the method of the pricing, but also our relationships and even our beliefs. To build back something on the same foundation, which foundation caused our current problems, it's not a good idea. Basically, the ones who try to build a new world order, they're living in an illusion. There is no new world order without new foundation. Maximum a repainted old world order with a new name, new world order. That's it. The Great Reset can lead us into a dystopian version of our current system. And Klaus knew this. He even mentioned in his book. A Danish politician who is a supporter of the Great Reset said that she hoped that the Great Reset not gonna turn into a dystopia. In my opinion, we cannot rely on hope when we build a new system. That is why I made my system in a way that it cannot turn into a dystopia. This can be achieved by the respect for the right to choose. Now let's see a few similar points which made me think that Klaus maybe get inspired of my idea. You own nothing and be happy. The government take care of the citizens. Global control. Useless class. To avoid misunderstandings, I must mention that these points are not written in my book like this. You're not gonna find in my book the useless class or you own nothing and be happy points. This is only a conclusion. After I have read briefly the book of Klaus, some points made me think that maybe Klaus get inspired by my book. But of course, it can be just a coincidence. Because many times happen that same invention has been invented with two or more person who living in different point of the globe, right? I don't know exactly the idea of Klaus, because in the way how he wrote his book, it's like he's at the beginning of his invention. He noticed the problem and he tried to suggest a solution, but he doesn't have a real plan. I think the reason why Klaus doesn't have a plan, it's very simple. Financial obstacles. This is the core problem of our current system. Everyone has financial interest in something. That's the reason why sometimes it looks like that politicians doing decisions which doesn't make sense. And that's the reason, in my opinion, why we can see that politicians many times cannot agree in a simple thing. Politicians always must pay attention for their personal and their supporters' financial interest. Financial problems also appear in products and services. We can see many times that those are the good products or services, which service or product is good from the economical point of view. Unfortunately, people forget that economy doesn't serve humanity. Economy needs an eternal growth. That's the reason why this system is a dead end. Another problem with the current system is the economical competition. In my opinion, competition should remain in the Olympic Games, because if someone loses in real life, then a family can end up in the streets. That's the reason why the family system and the time system, which is the lobby of the family system, are humanist systems. These systems can be activated in any moment without the resistance of the people. Now let's examine those points which made me think that Klaus maybe got inspired by my book. Own nothing and be happy. The advertisement of the "Own Nothing and Be Happy" slogan has been removed shortly from the media. I guess even Mr. Schwab don't know how can be someone happy by owning nothing. I don't see much information about this in his book. Even little children like to own things. Now let's see how does this idea work in my system. In my system, the government own everything, but that doesn't mean that the citizens own nothing. This means that the citizens own nothing permanently. There are different levels of this idea. The rules are different for a product or for a property. Freedom is the foundation of my system, so nobody gonna be forced to give up their properties. They're gonna get a chance to give up their property and try a new life in a new system. But if they don't like the new lifestyle, they can receive back their property and then continue their lifestyle in the current system. It is very important to give choice to the people. Unfortunately, the current global leaders doesn't give a choice. They just try to push humanity into the Great Reset. Maybe sounds weird for you. How am I speaking about my system? It's like I believe that this system gonna happen. Why is that? Why am I speaking like that? Klaus and his supporters, the global leaders, already tried to push us into the worst version of my idea. Klaus even said that the old world not gonna come back. So for sure, the system gonna change. It's already started. The only thing what we citizens can do to make it sure that the changing not gonna turn into a dystopia. We can achieve this goal by dialogues with the global leaders and constructive suggestions. The second reason why I believe is that till nowadays I didn't hear any type of system which system can protect humanity from corruption, economical crimes, and all type of crimes which crimes foundation is the money. The environment is the one which defines the behavior of the people. If you don't believe me, just check the work of Philip Zimbardo, who already proved this information. If you change the system, you're gonna change the behavior of the people. The third reason why I believe is because this is the only system which foundation is not the money. And because no money in the system, there is no economical crimes, no corruption. Corruption is impossible, and not only impossible, it's meaningless. These are the things why the time and the family system is humanist systems. Till money is the foundation of the system, nobody can call it humanist system. Second point, the government take care of the citizens. I don't know exactly how Klaus and his advisor, Mr. Harari, willing to develop this plan. But they say if people are willing to work, they can work. If people are willing to stay home, then they can stay home for a basic income. The problem with the basic income is that cannot guarantee that the citizen willing to become a useful member of the society. We can see nowadays that many persons do many things just to feed their requirements for the benefits. Some of them, for that reason, doing babies, which is a sad thing. In my system, the people instead basic income, they're gonna receive basic things what are necessary for life, like property, food, clothes, and things like this. But not because the people has the right for these things. The reason is because we are humans, and it's normal for humans that they help each other. Why is it better to give basic things to the citizen instead of a basic income? Well, the difference is that if you give money to someone, then there is no guarantee that the person willing to step out of his situation and become useful members of the society. And second, that maybe the person gonna use the money for some kind of illegal businesses to grow in an illegal way. But if you give basic things to the citizen, then you can keep the citizen in a basic level. He cannot grow. And as you know, everybody like to grow. This information has been proven by Abraham Maslow. So if the citizen willing to grow, then he must become useful member of the society. Now let's see the global control. The global control in the Great Reset can be dystopian, and even Mr. Schwab mentioned this in his book. That's the reason why the resistance is rising all around the globe. My proposal cannot provoke resistance from the people, because the right to free choice is respected. Can you ask me, why would anyone try a new system if they can live in the current system? Well, my system offers a well-organized, safer life. There is nothing to lose, and there is granted that if someone doesn't like the new system, then the person can go back to the old system. In the Great Reset, looks like the relationship between the government and the citizen is not equal. The citizen is a subordinate of the government. In the time and family system, the relationship between the government and the citizen is equal, just like in a family. The citizen is a partner of the government and not a subordinate. Nowadays, the control in the government's eye mean that the government control you, but you cannot control the government. In my system, the citizen has the right to control the government anytime when he wants. If they want, they can use their recordings against the employee of the government if they think that the employee made a mistake or a crime. Yes, I know, we already have organizations where you can report your problem if you discover something, but in my experience, I see that the judiciary is biased. Klaus has the idea to have a global control above nations, but unfortunately, this idea looks dystopian, based on the events of the last 2 years. I have the same idea, like Klaus, but with the respect of freedom. That's the reason why the family system can't be dystopian. The global control in my system means that there will be a group who gonna receive informations from all around the globe, and based off those informations they're gonna make their decisions. It is very important that this group not gonna be able to command the nations. They only can make suggestions. So this global group gonna give advices to the presidents of the nations. So basically, it's gonna be some kind of global advisor group. But what can guarantee that the presidents gonna listen to them? Well, it is very simple. Everyone likes to listen to wise words, if there is no reason to worry for his financial interests. And this is what my system can provide. Safety. No more financial interests, no more financial obstacles. This is the key for the unity. This is how presidents can work together. Now let's see the useless class. Mr. Schwab and Harari said that in the Great Reset, people, if want work, they can work, and if they want, they can stay home for basic income. In the Great Reset, the people, if they work, maybe they gonna just repair drones, but if they want, they stay home and play video games, because we need less and less workers to keep the society alive. My conclusion is that Klaus and Harari has no concrete idea what they should do with this so-called useless class. The world, what we see now, has been shaped by the smart businessmen. I think this time, when we planning our future, the people should listen to the humanists. Now let's see what is the situation of the useless class in my system. I know and I agree with Klaus and Harari that we need less and less workers to keep our society alive. So what should we do with the people? Well, instead of giving video games to the people, we should divide the necessary work between the people. If we do that, then we're gonna reduce the necessary working time for the people, which is a great news, because one of the purpose of life, in my opinion, is to enjoy the life. But how can you enjoy life if you have a full-time work? For me, it's difficult. In my system, the most important thing is to finish your job what the society gave you. If you finish your job, you can have your full salary. Of course, there are jobs which job cannot be done faster, but there are always advantages and disadvantages between jobs. Planned obsolescence and consumer economy gonna be meaningless in my system. Not like nowadays, when these are the key factors of the current system. The main important thing in my system is, did you finish your job what the society gave you or not? Maybe sounds contradicting for you that I'm mentioning a system which foundation is not the money, but at the same time I mention salary. Do not forget, in this video I talk about the family system and the time system. In the time system you're gonna have salary, but in the family system not. Why will be salary in the time system? Well, it is very important to follow the consumption of the citizen in order to decide whether he can enter the family system. Other reason is normal that if you work in exchange, you should receive something, right? In the time system, you're gonna receive time as a salary. But what is the difference between the time and the money? The difference is that if you buy something in the shop, then the money gonna disappear from your account and gonna be used by the seller, and also the government gonna receive a part of it by the tax. In the time system, if you receive your salary and you buy something, then the amount of the product gonna disappear from your account. Nobody gonna receive nothing from it, not even the government. So you will be the only one who can use your salary. No one else can use it. If nobody receives nothing from your salary, then how can the government stay alive without taxes? Remember, the government gonna own everything, so the taxes gonna be just a useless bureaucratic misery for the government. Unfortunately, Klaus did not write much about the salaries and the taxes and things like this in his book, but I would like to hear more about it. Now let's talk about healthcare. How it looks like in the Great Reset and in my system. The main thing what Klaus mentioned in his book basically is measurements against new pandemics. In his book, I didn't find information how can he guarantee to every citizen even the most expensive medical treatment. In my system, healthcare will be available for every citizen independently how serious is his health problem. How is that possible? Simple. Different system from the foundation, and the government gonna own everything. I think this is already a good point. Why should you consider my opinion? Because anytime you or your loved ones can become seriously ill, what will you do in that case to be able to pay the bills for the hospital? Will you sell your home, or will you start to beg online like other people do? I think this is not the way how these problems should be solved. This is already a proof that our current system is a disaster. It's not a humanist system. It's the system of the smart businessmen. Smart people just think in a box and usually are impatient for brand new ideas. Now I would like to mention a few more points why the time and the family system is better than the current system or the Great Reset. Example, low bureaucracy, right education at right time. This moment, this method doesn't exist. Intelligent design instead of functional design. Chance for a humanist depopulation. Massive CO2 emission and plastic pollution reduction, but the Great Reset cannot provide. Carbon dioxide reduction can be reduced by reducing the demand for cars and by purposeful crop production. Nowadays, we arrive in a new era when money cannot provide any more safety, because global warming and overpopulation cannot be solved with money. The people in power already realized this problem, and this made them worry. They know if they don't do something fast, then all of their and their ancestors' works and investments, what they made to provide to their loved ones a safer, wealthier life, gonna be worthless. For them, human lives and money do not count anymore. That's the reason why everything in our life turned into a chaos. Learn from the history and remember for what were capable those people who were in power to secure their safe, wealthy life. These people are already doing the same. We should point their attention to a humanist solution, which solution do not threaten their power. This is why I'm doing this film and the similar ones. My solution do not threaten nobody's power. Klaus built a very similar system like mine. The difference is that he took out the nations and the freedom of choice, and he included the totalitarian global control, where the citizen is a subordinate for the government instead of a partner. Help me make it happen, the former humanist version of the Great Reset, and you will see what humanity capable of. Or continue supporting the money-based systems and you will keep witnessing the continuous failure of humanity because of the financial obstacles. Thank you for your attention.